Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 93 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, also known as...
The Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
We've got two amazing guests here today.
I am super excited. How long have we waited for this moment?
About 18 months. We wanted to get one right at the start. But before we come to that, I've got a little story to tell you.
Okay.
It's a kinky story.
Rightio.
Are you ready for a very kinky story?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, a guy's sitting in a bar and he's having a drink and he sees a beautiful girl across the room and she's making eyes at him and he's kind of getting excited. So he goes over and he says, "Excuse me, miss, could I buy you a drink?" And she says, "Sure, have a seat." So he sits down and he says, I'm kind of down on my luck. He says, "My wife's just left me because she says I'm too kinky." And she looks at him and she goes, "That's really weird." She says, "Because my boyfriend's just left me because he says I'm too kinky for him." And he says, "Oh, okay then." And she says, "I've got a great idea. Why don't we forget the drinks, go back to my place and we'll get kinky." So off they go. They finish the drinks and they leave. And when they get to the girl's house, she says, "You wait here. I'm going to slip into something a little bit more kinky." And she's gone away and she's gone for ages. She comes out from her room and she's wearing a leather basque with a whip in one hand and handcuffs in the other. And the guy's sort of standing there and he's got his coat in his hand and he's just making his way to the door. And she says, "Wait a minute, I thought we were going to get kinky." And he says, "Jesus, lady, I've already shit in your purse and fucked your dog. What more do you want me to do?" That's another strike from Amazon.
Please don't complain. Please don't complain.
Okay.
Moving on swiftly.
That's another strike from Amazon. They don't like us being too X-rated.
Oh my word, we have the amazing Meghan and Hayden with us today.
Meghan and Hayden.
Hi guys.
Hi. Oh, it's so exciting.
So these guys were regulars at V2V.
Yeah.
And we coaxed them, come on the podcast.
Well, I'd say coaxed them. We've probably, groomed them. Is more like it,
Okay, guys, so you're a young couple in your late 20s?
Early 30s.
There you go.
Yeah.
You've both got baby faces.
Yeah, we're both 32 this year, so yeah.
Are your birthdays close together?
6 months apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Not far at all. Not far at all. So, I always think, you could have been in the same, maternity unit together when you get couples where the birthdays are really close.
That would have been one hell of a between, yeah.
No, 6 months too far.
Too far there, yeah.
Too far. I've stretched that too far.
Yeah.
Forget I even said that. It's rubbish. It doesn't work.
So we met you guys, how long ago?
It would have been November or just October or November of 20.
I think it was November.
November 22.
2 years ago.
22,
yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years, wow.
I don't know if you remember, because I think our first visit to Libs was a DC, and it was actually you, Mr. N, that gave us our tour.
No, was it?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember you coming to DC quite early on, but I don't remember doing your tour.
Yeah.
Bless you got the short straw.
I don't remember it, if that makes you feel any better.
I don't remember it either, but there you go.
I was that rememberable.
Hayden does.
I remember
He
it.
remembers everything.
See, those guys.
So how long have you guys been together?
11 years.
Wow.
Now, yeah.
Oh,
11 years.
Oh, that's so sweet.
11 years married, 7?
7, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
7 this year, isn't it?
Yeah, 7 this year.
Yeah.
And how did you meet?
We met through a friend, and then
That neither of us speak to anymore.
Okay.
So we met. We were on a night out, and Megan hates the story.
She's
on a night out.
She's literally cringing as you're talking.
So we were on a night out, and I was at the bar getting a drink, and then I turn around, and Megan is just staring at my crotch.
Okay.
I had a drunk lag. I was staring at his bum and he turned around and I wasn't quick enough to move my head.
Okay. Girl after my own heart, you say. Nice bum.
And he does have a really nice bum.
I couldn't possibly comment.
There we go. I'm just trying to think back to the tour, but I don't remember.
Let it go, Kate. Let it go. So cool then, guys. How did it all start? How did you decide to get into the naughty hobby?
Well, I think for us it started. Megan started reading a lot of smutty books. Didn't tell me about it, but I knew she was reading books on her Kindle, and then she started jumping me a lot more after finishing a chapter.
This is a common theme.
Yeah.
We're learning this where ladies read the books, don't say anything, but then, you know, they kind of get into to the naughty hobby.
So I wasn't complaining, obviously, because we were having more sex than we normally do. And then I said to her, not that I'm complaining, but what's going on? Because you seem to be jumping me a lot more than usual. And then she explained in great detail about her fantasies from the books, which was her and another guy and me. Which, when I first heard about it, I thought I was thinking about it, and then I was like, that's actually really hot. I actually really like the sound of that.
So you had like a hot wife kink like me.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
And then she told me about it, and then because I'm like a dog with a bone, it didn't take long, and then I'd found Fab Swingers, and we'd spoke about it, and then
I can just
Next
imagine
thing we were on it.
literally like Google.
Yeah.
It was like, I've created a profile. I was like, you've what?
You just had a
We
conversation.
literally just I think it was genuinely about a day. Next thing you know, we're already on it.
It was a week.
I was going to say, that's slow. It's like, hold that thought.
Yeah.
And then we took our first pictures, didn't we? I remember we did that on our anniversary night.
Yeah.
As you do.
That's what you do.
It was a child-free night
It
for
was
us.
a child-free night, so that was one of the only times we get to. And then next thing you know, we've got pictures everywhere and messages firing from literally everywhere.
Can you remember, first putting your profile on and getting your first message?
We were led in the hotel bed, it was just constant. We both stupidly kept the notifications, so every time that we got a message, it was like email, and I was like,
that got turned off
really quickly.
Yeah.
It is amazing what I think. Delicious Devs was the funniest one. Delicious Devs set a profile up here literally while we were waiting, and she got 60 messages in
about the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Most of them were from single guys, no photos.
Yeah.
It was just wanna fuck and just.
We got a lot of that,
Yeah.
and we're going to drive past your window. Can you flash us?
Yeah, we've had that. The always offering money and presents.
Oh,
Yeah. And
They
then
never follow through.
no, I always message saying back saying, "Oh, we'd love this.
Yes.
If you get it, if we'll put this on our Amazon wish list, and if you buy it for us, we'll then come and meet you."
Yeah. And then they never do they?
just get ghosted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So how did it feel then, going from just the fantasy of it to all of a sudden thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this could actually happen?
I was nervous, excited, because I think obviously with the books it's a very different. So you have the fantasy, and the reality is going to be really different.
Yeah.
And I think it had been about 4 weeks before we'd had our first meet with a single guy,
Since we
hadn't
created
it?
our profile, yeah.
And we had a guy let us down that day, and we were talking to another guy and saying this guy is a little bit flaky, so we might be free tonight if you are.
And you said yes.
And then he said yes, and then I just went to panic mode then. What have we got ourselves into? What's going to happen? What if he's a serial killer? What if he doesn't look like he's supposed to look like? What if I don't like it?
It is. I mean,
it's a bit scary.
A meet at home is always like that's more pressure.
Well, we booked a hotel.
Yeah.
So we did a hotel, and then we met him at a bar that was
okay.
a couple of minute walk from where the hotel was.
Okay.
That's pretty. Yeah.
That's probably a bit.
You have got like a little bit more get out.
That's why I said,
and it was our hotel room and not his.
Yes.
Which is very, very advisable. Very good advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were chatting for a bit in the hotel. In the bar. And then I gave Meghan a little squeeze. She gave me one back, so we knew. I knew that she was okay with it.
It was the sign.
It was the signal.
See, Mr. and Mrs. Foxy had this sign.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, it didn't work for them because Mrs. Foxy just gets nervous and just squeezes
Squeezes.
Mrs. Foxy on the top. So it's not sure if she's just like having palpitations.
Yeah.
Normally, a nook is just enough to.
Yeah, I can tell just from how you're deer in the headlights. But no, so we went from the bar and then we walked back to the hotel, and then I'd say that was a very good first meet for us.
We were really, really lucky.
We were really lucky with such a good first meet.
So, was he experienced or?
Yeah, he was experienced.
Okay. Do you think that helped you? Or?
I think it definitely did.
Because he knew what he was doing.
Because he knew what he was doing, and he was he didn't want to leave me out of it, which is
That's
again,
nice.
which is a nice thing.
Yeah.
And then you got your first ever DP, which you loved.
That's a pretty hardcore.
It was
for the first.
but it was it was the goal of the night. I know you say not to set.
See, the thought of it actually makes me think, I'm not sure I could do that.
So we did a lot of prep work before, didn't we?
We've actually come close.
I know we've come really close.
More or less. It was obviously memorable for Mrs. Anne. It was obviously a memorable moment. I know which hotel room in which hotel room.
No, I do, and I remember. I think I was just incredibly nervous about it.
I can even tell you what colour the wallpaper was.
I know. All right, dear.
And then I think there's a bit of a stigma around anal on its own, let alone if you put the DP together.
Yeah.
I've always been a girl that's loved anal anyway.
High five, Mrs. Thank you.
So I think I was a little bit. We prepped me the week leading up. So it wasn't a lot of prep, just because we didn't want to be, as much as we could. But I would say that was my favourite, one of my favourite experiences. And I said coming out of it, didn't I? I felt like a goddess. I've never felt that hot, sexy myself. It was blissful. And it was when we went out for food after, I was like, what is on my ear? And I had cum all over here and didn't even know. It was literally covering my whole face and all in my hair and in my ears. And I was like, we're in a public place. I thought I'd cleaned it. Clearly hadn't have a brush. I was like, my hair was chucked up. We were not prepared for any of it, really. But no, it was really good.
We were both just riding the high of it, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. We're like, let's go get ice cream. Next thing you know, we're in the parlour and I'm like, what is in there? I was like, oh my God.
So had you done kind of any research before you did your first meet on kind of like the best way to handle it? Because, you know, the idea of going to a hotel, it being your hotel room, so you were in control and everything. Had you read anything about?
Yeah, so I'd read a lot, and I'd spoke to people in the forums and that, and asked for advice on first meets and what to look out for on profiles, so we know fakes from actual decent. There's verifications. One was a good one, and looking when their most recent verification was, because you can have people that, although they are verified on Fab, the verifications from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They may have taken a break, and if they say that, then you can talk about it. But and then you can look on the profile that was verified, and that profile can either be gone or not. So
Yeah.
About being precautious.
Yeah, you have to be really careful with profiles. And we had this just the other week where Debs sort of found something on Fab, didn't she? And they really weren't who they sort of pretended to be. And so we sent them a message. Debs, bless her, went off into town. And
on her own?
And she literally got ghosted.
Yeah.
So we sent them a message, and the guy was like, obviously unknown that we knew Debs, and he was still claiming then he wanted to meet us. And it's just like, so you have to be careful on Fab.
Yeah, you do have to be careful. So it's good that you did your research though, and that you took some You didn't. You just left it all up to
I do all the admin.
It's funny, most men do.
Yeah.
Most men do.
Do you get the, you're going to like him? And they'll
Yes.
go, no. So what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
I don't even look at when we first started. I wasn't even looking at the messages. You were like, read this one, you're fine. I'm like, all right. He always started off the messaging. They all thought they were speaking to me, mine.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the time you get that where they go, I'd love to fuck you, and I'm like, well, this is a couple profile. If you can address who you're speaking to, then we'll know so there's no confusion.
Oh, so you don't even pretend that you've been Meghan then?
No,
It's just
no, no.
That was a lot.
Mr. N's done that to me before, haven't you?
Yes, if you've started the conversation, I've just carried it on.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I don't want to disappoint them. I'll just carry on with it.
I'm usually like, can you just carry on with that? I've just got something to do. I'll be back in a minute.
It's like, okay.
It's not normally the face pictures I want to see, is it?
No.
Do you like dick pics?
Yes.
Oh, you see, this is why we get on so well.
You are in the
It's a girl
minority.
after my own heart.
I love dick pics. I love
Tributes.
cum shot videos.
Yeah.
I love the moaning. I'm like, that's what we always say to guys that are messaging us. Like, you can send me as much as you want. I'm not going to get like weirded out or offended.
The only things that I don't particularly enjoy is when they send videos of them fucking another woman.
No, I don't enjoy that.
And it's just
You
like,
don't
that's
enjoy
not
that?
doing anything for me
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Guys sitting on the toilet.
Oh, and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
That is the
Toilet
worst
one.
one. Why do they go, I'm sitting on the toilet? This would be a good opportunity for a dick pic. where does that come from?
I don't know.
Boredom.
They normally get deleted very quickly. Those ones.
It's just the mentality of like, yeah, dick's out. Now's a good time. Why?
So, do you guys already, for your first meet, do you already kind of have a plan of how you kind of wanted it to go, what you'd like to have got out of it, or did you just wing it?
I think the plan was you definitely wanted DP, didn't you?
Yeah, there were certain positions from the books that I'd said I definitely wanted to do.
Yeah.
But we didn't put massive expectations on, if we don't have it this time, it's fine. Because again, it was also our first meet, so the nerves come into play. You don't know how the guy's going to react.
Yeah.
But he was really good.
I've got to ask, so the books you were reading, were they like swinging books, or was it just a threesome?
Complete reverse hareem type situation. So one girl, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in one relationship.
Okay, I think you may need to lend me that book.
I have Kindle Unlimited. So last year I read 150 books, and I can guarantee you 80% of them were 100% reverse hareem style books. Yeah.
So she doesn't have a kink at all.
To the point where I was like, oh, DP's boring now. I need 3. I need everything stuffed at the same time.
This is Mrs. N.
I know. I have a kindred spirit.
I can say it's like, yeah. Mini me.
So had you told the guy that you were meeting that you know these were the sort of things that you liked beforehand? So he was
we'd
kind of
communicated with
pre-warned.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd seen from his verifications that he'd met with other couples as well. Because a lot of times when you look at single guys' verifications, it isn't a lot of couples, or it's couples where it's just strictly hot wife where the other guy isn't involved.
Yeah.
And we found that, especially with new guys, if they've not been in a situation with another guy and his partner, that they tend to not perform because they get a bit nervous about the other guy being
It's
there.
very true.
That's actually very true.
It is really true, isn't it?
Yeah. So when you were like first going into it, did you even like think we're swingers? Or this is swinging?
I don't really know. No. I think because it's all over the website, so you kind of think about it. But yes, and it's in the name. But I think until we started doing couple swaps, I would have said no.
Yeah.
When we did couple swaps, that's when it felt. Oh, actually, now it feels like, and you get all the taboos, don't you? It's keys in a bowl, and you have to do it with whoever keys you pick out. And I was like, what if I don't like the couple? And we've had a couple of couple swaps where we've both done it because we thought the other one wanted to, and then we've both come out of it and gone, we should have just communicated that we didn't want to do it, but we didn't.
That's the worst one. Taking one for the team, but the other one's doing the same thing.
Both took one for the team, came out of it, and were like, I don't know if I want to do that again. And I was like, no, let's try it one more time, because we said we'd do a rule of 3. So if you try it 3 times and you still don't like it, then you know you won't, because you should have a good, a bad, and an average in that 3.
Okay.
So that was our rule, wasn't it?
That's our Rox's
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? You know, try it once. If you don't like it, try it again, and maybe just try it one more time just in case.
Yeah.
So we did, and we've had some really, really, really good couple swaps. So
I think as you go on, you kind of know what you like, don't you?
Yeah.
You learn pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. So in the beginning, did you just set out to do the kind of like the hot wife thing, and then it kind of just evolved into the couple thing?
Yeah, I think initially it was just introducing another guy into our dynamic.
Yeah.
And it was always going to be me involved as well, because I as
I
much,
need that as well, don't
you need
I?
that as well. And as much as I do enjoy watching, I also like to get involved as
Yeah.
well.
yeah, I need you to lead it, or I get really flappy and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I've never done it before. I have to be like, Megan, you do this now. I'm like, okay, I'm like a little sex robot. Yes, sir. And then I just go off and do it. But if it's just me, I'm like, no, I don't like this. I've never done this before. But
See, you like taking control now, don't you, Mrs. Anna?
Yeah, it's funny because
You were a bit like that,
in the beginning...
and then you changed.
Yeah, I was very much like that in the beginning, because it was a little bit like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing. And obviously I was like concerned about you. Were you okay? Were you happy? And I don't know whether Megan, you've been the same with when you had your first meet, when it was actually kind of happening, if you had that split second where you think, what am I doing? Yeah.
and where is he? Is he still in the room? Am I
Yeah.
like, what's happened? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't always in my peripheral vision. And I was trying to enjoy it, but still be quite aware of where you were in the room. But you were just on the outskirts to start. And I think then us coming together was quite nice. I think I reached out at the same time you came over, so that worked quite well.
And then I think when you see their reaction, that kind of, then you go,
Deflate a
okay,
bit.
this is really
Where
good.
are we going now?
I've still not found anyone with my kink where I like to listen.
No, you like to go out the door, don't you? And
I don't know why. And it's one of those kinks you analyse. It's kind of like walking in on it. I still don't know why.
no.
You've asked for that, haven't you?
I have asked for you to sort of initiate with another guy, me to walk in and find you, because I find
It
that
is-
very hard.
Yeah, you see, I've got a kindred spirit.
I think it's for me. It's to do with obviously your confidence in that, because you're confident enough to initiate it with someone else without me being there, and I think that would be very hot.
It is like the ultimate hot wife scenario, isn't it?
In fairness, it is, but I understand where you're coming from, and it took me a while, but because originally when we first did sort of home meets, it was like Mr. N answer the door, and I'd just sit in the living room kind of like looking a little nervous, whereas, you know, if it happened sort of now or even, you know, a few months ago or a couple of years ago or whatever, how long it's been since we've had a home meet, it would be he would be in the living room, I would go and answer the door, and it'd be like, come with me, we're going upstairs, and Mr. N would be down in the living room. And then we have got very creaky stairs, so I did know when he was starting to walk up the stairs.
Oh, ruins it.
No, because it's nice, because then I know that you're there, but then there used to get a point when I'd be like, I just want you to come into the room now. Can you?
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to telepathically tell him, can you come in now, please?
I need you in the room.
Really the build-up.
I think I'm either really confident or I'm the other way. So I think it's my confidence of, does this guy actually want me? What's going on? And then I panic, and then I get inside my head, and then I'll stop enjoying it.
I guess that depends who you're with, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's massively who you're with. I think even if you know somebody, if you don't feel that they really desire you, then that instantly puts you on edge.
Yeah, and
That's-
also
that's
the
my
thing is,
thing.
if you get people that may come across as very confident, which is it's very attractive to have a confident guy, I always think. But there's a very fine line between being, you know, confident and being arrogant. And then if you get the ones that just tip it slightly and they turn a little bit arrogant, that is the biggest turn off ever. And then it just, we have had that, haven't we?
Yeah, it's like that. That's another one turned to shit.
Yeah. Yes, don't get too confident.
It's very difficult. So what made you then decide, okay, you've had a successful hotel meet, what then made you decide to try a club? Whose idea was it? I'm looking at Hayden.
It was kind of accidental, wasn't it? Because we were supposed to have a meet, and these guys this couple cancelled on us the day of the meet.
Oh.
It wasn't just the day. We
We literally were dropping our son off for the babysitting, and we got messaged as we walked out the door.
Oh, no.
So we were like, oh.
So then I looked around at what the closest clubs to us were, and we went.
He'd already done his homework.
And then I called them up and I said, do we need to book price? Because I'd never been.
Yeah.
So I was like, do we need to book? They're like, no, it's fine if you can come, and then we'll give you a tour. And I was like, okay. Well, and then called back. I was like, what's the dress code? 'Cause
Which club was this?
it was Route 69 in Western Supermare.
I've never heard of that
No,
one.
I've never heard
It's
of
a
that.
really little...
It's a really small,
Is it?
really small club.
Okay.
So we went there. In hindsight, probably it took us the same time to get there than it does to get to Libs as well. So had we known that, we would have come to Libs first. But so we went there, and we just we got chatting to other couples.
We spent too much time talking.
We spent a lot of time talking for the first time, I think, because we were both a bit nervous. And then we watched another couple. They put on a little show because they have a little dungeon room in there.
Okay.
And so we watched that, and then you went, right, come with me, and dragged me to a room.
I was too horny by that point. I was like, I think she was sucking him off. I was like, yeah, we need to go. We need to go do that somewhere else, because otherwise I'm just going to start doing it myself.
Yeah.
Going to want to join in.
So, and then we were talking to another couple after that who said, oh, why don't you come to DC with us? And then we were like, where is it? And then they said, and then we haven't looked back since. And
that's so cool.
And they invited us to the Discord, didn't they?
Yeah, they invited us to the Discord, and then we went to DC in, when was it?
I don't know.
October or November 2
was
years
the
ago.
first time.
Yeah.
And then since then we were like, right, okay, Libs is amazing. Let's go every month.
That's pretty much all we did.
Just bring our suitcases and move in.
So that's what we did.
To the point where every time we booked a hotel room, you'd get an extra bed in the room.
Yeah. Every time we book at the secret hotel, they always stick an extra bed in our room.
You're
Only
dead.
when he books, so it's something to do. So when I booked it, we've had nothing, but every time he's booked, we've got an extra bed, and sometimes under the bed as well. So we've like 2 extra beds.
Oh, you're definitely on the
They know.
swingers
They
club.
know.
I was going to say,
Definitely stick
they've
us
moved
on
on
that corridor.
the floor, the swingers floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I reckon they've got like a voice analysis machine. But yeah, it's like it just like lights up.
We've got another one.
Stick them on the first floor. Away from the families.
So how would you say that being in the naughty hobby has changed your relationship? Oh, has it? Has it changed it? Has it not changed it?
It had such a really good impact, didn't it? It made our communication like 300 times better. Because you have to communicate.
Yeah.
So otherwise it doesn't work, as we found out quite early on.
With a double charity work.
Double charity work was if we could have just gone home, like come back to our hotel room and gone to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it would have been so much better for us both, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I think it's had a massively good impact. And even during the break, I think we can still live off the fantasy of it as well.
Yeah.
You learn so much about
That's so
yourselves
good.
as well, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like things you don't think you'd be into, and
Yeah, we've definitely evolved.
No, definitely, yeah. I am more confident with my sexuality now. So I don't come on to you all the time, but I will come on to him. And I didn't really do that before, because now I'm like, well,
That's
you want
amazing.
it anyway.
You kind of
so.
feel happy to instigate rather
That's
than wait.
amazing.
Or,
Yeah.
It was your fear of me rejecting you coming on that
Yeah.
stopped you from
Really?
doing
Yeah.
it.
even from your own partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I had that in my previous relationships, though, that I'd initiate and I'd
Okay.
get the rejection.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a hard thing to overcome. Well done. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
and I always say, well, if you don't want to, I'll just go sort myself out. And I know that he'll want to join in anyway. I know I'll get it. You're not going to let me lay next to him and do it myself. He'll want to join in. So
If you insist.
Go on then, you twisted my arm.
You've got a hard life, Hayden.
Yeah,
You poor old
I
thing.
know.
So obviously you took a little break. Did you miss it while you were on your break?
I think we we miss seeing everyone, because the social side, I know everyone says it, but the social side is so important.
Yeah.
And we we've realised how much we've missed all of our friends.
We have
incredibly missed you
really
massively.
missed you guys.
Yeah.
Really, really. I know there's going to be a lot of listeners this week because they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
you already kind of whispered that you were going to be on.
I know we haven't. We've just been back to that. It's coming on the podcast. So excited.
And you literally light the room up when you two come in.
You do.
It's just so lovely to see. You've always got big smiles on your faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fabulous.
I've realised how untrue my real friends were.
Yeah.
In fact, coming out. So during the break, I was like, I thought that I had a group of friends, and I've actually found that they're more acquaintances than friends because, one, how they managed us telling them that we were in the lifestyle, and just how they were with me in general. And I think...
Did you face... Was that a negative reaction from
I
them?
got a negative reaction. Hayden didn't.
Really?
Everyone seems to think I've coerced him into it and
Corrupted
him. When it's completely when you listen to our story, it's nearly the other way around. Not that he corrupted me into it, but he was the dog with the bone. Everyone seems to think it's me.
It's like, why would anyone care?
Oh, exactly. What does it matter?
If you're a genuine friend,
Yeah.
and my first question would be, is like, are you both happy? You go yes, and it's like, that's cool. I don't give a shit who coerced who into it.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. And I suppose do you think that you realise as you go on in the naughty hobby that you realise what's important?
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas, I guess for some people it's about the drama, isn't it? It's like, they're obviously creating stories in their own mind over who coerced who. They must have got so and so into it. Yeah.
Like we're going to run off with whoever we sleep with. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and we also had a lot of so you're a cuck then? I was like, no. Definitely, no, I'm not a cuck. Had to explain to them, and then they're like, but then you're letting them sleep with your wife. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not sleep.
not sleep.
It's just
yeah.
Not, unless they're
just
really
sex.
shit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can't separate emotional and physical.
Yeah.
That's a
I
very...
have to be honest, though, in the very beginning... and we've documented this, haven't we, quite a lot, that I'd only ever been with 2 other people before I met Mr. N. One was my first serious boyfriend who popped my cherry, and the other one was my first husband. So I hadn't actually ever had sex with somebody. It was always somebody I was in love with, and it was like, no, we were making love and stuff. So I didn't know the difference until we had our first meet, and then it was almost a bit like...
I rather like this.
No, I get it. It's like, that's the difference. And it's a big difference.
And I've always had that. So I've never had sex and emotions together until I met Hayden.
Yeah.
And then it grew into that.
Yeah.
But we were having sex way before there were any feelings between us. I think we can both openly say that.
Yeah.
So I've always had the difference. And if anything, he's the gushier one than me. I'm emotional switch off, and you're more lovey-dovey than I am, aren't you?
Definitely.
So, which I found really different to a lot of our friends that it seems to be the other way around.
Yeah.
A lot of the women and the females tend to be the emotional side of stuff, whereas the guys tend to have more of this kind of not the emotional side, like more of the sexual side.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
I'm completely the flip opposite.
I mean, we would... I can't remember if it was at the last DC or whether it was our V2V. We were talking to it was our last V2V. And we were talking to a new couple, and she was having a really hard time with it because she was saying, I went through all those emotions of why does he want to come here, and why does he this, why does he that, and in the beginning you do go through those, like, why am I enjoying this? Because everything else should be telling me that this is wrong, and because that's what society makes you believe.
Yeah.
And you do question yourself, don't you? You think to yourself, I mean, did you have that, Hayden, when you had your first meet? Was the part of you that at some point turned around and said, okay, should I be enjoying this?
Yeah, I think initially when it first happened, I was like, okay, this is really hot, but should I be feeling like this? Is something wrong that I'm feeling like this way? And then I just sort of checked myself, and I was like, no, it's just sex. She's just met this guy. You've got a great connection with her. We both love each other.
Yeah.
I think you make a really good point, actually, that for an outsider, you would think that in a typical sort of hot wife scenario, that it would always be the person that's fucking that feels guilt.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No.
For us guys, you can have guilt because you're thinking, why am I encouraging this? Why am I encouraging my nearest and dearest, my loved one, to fuck somebody else? And that can encourage guilt. And yeah, I've never really sort of thought about it up until now, that you definitely can have guilty feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody that doesn't have those feelings is very lucky, I think. Or they can just kind of, what do they call it?
Compartmentalise.
That's the word. Yeah, a lot quicker than the rest of us, because it took me a little while.
Oh, I still analyse it now. And still got absolutely no idea, which is the best part of the fun.
I'm just like, oh no, that's all sorted now. I don't worry about that anymore.
I'm quite a naturally jealous person. So I remember when we first went to DC and Hayden snogged someone, my initial reaction was see red.
Yeah.
And I felt myself get really angry in that for about a second. And then I was like, oh, it's fine. But it was my initial reaction to lose my crap in the middle of this club. And I was like, so I just kind of breathed through my initial reaction. Then the more I looked at her, I was like, yeah, he's mine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to give him back.
But had you talked about that? Had you talked about the dynamics and how far you wanted to go and what boundaries you'd got?
Yeah. We bend the boundaries a bit.
All the time.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? As long as you're together on the page, that's part of the fun. It's part of the experimenting to see what you like, what you don't like. And you can, I think when you've probably been in it as long as you two have, and it's so together like you two are, you can do something, like you say, go back and go, no, I didn't enjoy that. That wasn't for me.
We always say at the end of every night, before we go to sleep, or the next day. So sometimes I'm like, I need to think about it, because at the moment I'm angry, but I don't know once I think about it whether I'll be okay about it. So either the night or on the drive home is when we normally go through the whole night from start to finish. What did we enjoy? Yeah. What did we not? And that we've learned from that, what we do or don't like, what you do or don't like, what I say you, there's not a lot that you do. What I do or don't like and what I'm comfortable with or not comfortable with. I'm the boundary setter.
Yeah.
But I can waver just as easily as Come Drunk Meghan is a very, very different Meghan, and all our friends laugh because when I start the night, I'm like, no, and then by like 2.5 hours later, 6, 7 orgasms, like, yes, bring it on.
I think guys, in the beginning, guys are different. I was really worried, you're probably going to laugh at this, I was really worried how I'd feel after I'd come.
Oh, like post-nut clarity.
Yes. So it was like, and I actually said to Mrs. N, I don't want to come until the guy's gone.
Yeah.
I don't want to come, because I wasn't sure after I'd come how I'd feel about it. It's like, okay, I'm a bit, carry on, just hurry up now, finish. I wasn't sure how I'd feel.
Yeah.
I was all right, as it turns out.
Yeah, but that was in your mind, though, wasn't it?
Big time. I wasn't sure how I'd feel.
Yeah, I think on our first meet, I was very nervous at going up to the hotel room. I was very nervous, and then when you started kissing him and that, and I was like, okay, no, I'm okay with that. And then you both got on the bed, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. And then as it progressed, I was like, no, I'm enjoying this. This is good. And then obviously questioned myself, and I was like, should this be good?
That's like Mrs. N.
Yeah.
Our very first meet, I saw Mrs. N literally, as it was getting really into it, biting her lip. Like you recognise your partner's lip, little
toes.
Toes, that's it, toes. And I'm like, she's really enjoying this. And it's like, but there wasn't 1 inch of me that was jealous or thought, God, he's doing more than I can or anything like that. I felt very comfortable with it. But that is my kink, I guess. So whether that assisted me.
Yeah, but the other thing is we had chatted to him for a very long time and got to know him. I mean, 3 years is a long time. Yeah, we weren't quick in moving along, were we?
I think like what you said, because your very first meet was obviously a really nice guy. He was experienced. Our very first meet, the guy wasn't experienced, but he was still a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
and we felt that we were all in the same boat together. But then when it came on to like the third meet, whatever it was, with a really arrogant guy, it was such a polar opposite set of feelings that I had. And then I did have the jealousy, but not a jealousy of worrying about me. It was just, I felt like this guy doesn't deserve Mrs. N.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to be, enjoying that.
Yeah.
And that was a very, very strong emotion, and I felt very angry and yeah. So
I think a lot of the problem was for us is obviously the first meet was like with yours, it was so good and you're on a high, aren't you? I mean, for goodness sake, we lived off that for about 6 years. Goodness sake. Doesn't even now, even how many years later,
it's still in my mental Rolodex.
Still
go back to that
He
meet.
still messages me on and off.
Yeah, well, the guy does. Well, we still have conversations.
Yeah.
He promised me we'd get him on the podcast one time, so I could hear his side of the story and see if I remembered it the right way. But we still chat. Bless him. He's such a sweetie.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, because I don't know whether we got a little bit overconfident because it was such a good first meet that when obviously we did eventually have like the second meet or whatever, it was just a complete disaster.
Do you think we do that? Do you think like we go, yeah, I know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I'm Billy Big Bollocks. We can do anything.
And then it's completely the opposite. I think we had our meet and then we did the clubs, and then I think we were getting a bit bored in between the clubs because it was only once a month, and I think we were on the high of we need it all the time.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple of or one single guy meet in the middle, and he was just really inexperienced. He was younger, which for us is probably sounds really weird because of how young we are. But he was younger than us, and I think he was really nervous. We went back to his, and I think I'd accept my expectations on what I was getting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad meet. We both come away and we were like, well, I feel satisfied. It just, we didn't have DP because he just couldn't keep it hard. So he was fine if I was sucking him off or giving him a hand job. But the minute I got anywhere near him, it went straight back down to the point where I came away with like, it was like, all I can taste is condoms. It's disgusting. Bless him. But he was lovely. It was just his, and we said that. I think it was just inexperience. And that's when we made the decision that we won't go with, if we're looking to have DP or something like that, they can't be inexperienced because it is tough for them. That's
very wise.
It's also very hard that, excuse the pun, but, probably the wrong choice of words, but it's also very difficult when that happens and then you try not to put the blame on yourself.
See, I didn't. I don't know why. And we had this conversation on the way up.
I've had it happen, and you automatically think, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Or they don't like me, or they don't find me sexy, or whatever. And you suddenly go in this massive downward spiral of it's my fault, and I'm this, that, and the other.
But you didn't, Megan.
No.
That's so good.
With Hayden, I do. For example, if he's tired, we always say don't drink beer because it'll never happen because you're all drunk. For him, I get really funny. I get really sad. I'm like, why don't you find me attractive anymore?
Yeah.
And we've had it a couple of times with single guys, and I'm like, it's fine. We'll just try again in a minute, or we will do something else. For some reason, I can't say the word can't say it.
Compartmentalise.
Thank you. I'm really trying. It's like I can do that for them, so I don't take it personally. We've had it in a club and a single.
The person with your emotional attachment to you do.
I do.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's
Don't
really
know
interesting.
why. But no, I don't. And I think I wouldn't now either. But with you, I will 100% would.
That's just probably part of who you are.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
part of your psyche. I've learnt probably not to analyse so much now and just accept. It's just like, I'll still try and analyse stuff, but now I just give up and just think, no, I like that, we'll carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
Our last club visit was quite anticlimactic, I think, probably is the best. The last one we did before we had our break was a little bit anticlimactic. I think in our heads we went with expectations.
Yeah.
We're going to do this, and this because we knew we were going on a break.
This was our last one.
And it did nothing. It was all really not...
Don't have expectations.
No, I know. It just went really... And I think we were both ill. We didn't really say that we were both feeling a bit rough and probably shouldn't have come.
Yeah.
And that was the only night where the rejection hit because we got rejected by quite a lot of people. And I think we were like... So that was a bit
Yeah.
but that had been the only club night where we'd ever had that. So
I can't believe anybody would reject you, Per.
No.
What is wrong with people?
Don't know.
It's like, goodness sake.
I just think it wasn't the people. I think we were asking the wrong people.
yeah.
I don't think it was their dynamic.
Ah, okay.
I think I asked a couple. I think I asked 2 guys, and I think they said, "Oh no, I'm with my partner." I didn't realise they weren't single guys. So that was my error. And I think they were looking for a couple swap.
Or I just wasn't their type, and I think, and I am curvier, and I will openly say I'm curvier, and I'm short. I'm only 5'1", and what we then saw was if they said no to us, they were with the tall, skinny blonde lady across the room, and that's fine if I'm not your type. Some people aren't mine, so it was trying not to hold too much weight to that and not take that personally. And I think after the first 2, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I can't be rejected anymore. I don't think I can take it.
I just have to say, I think it's so it's so ridiculous how we judge ourselves. Because how you just described yourself then, as if like, you know, they're with the skinny blonde over in the corner. When I first saw you, I'm like, Meghan's absolutely stunning. For our listeners, our listeners that can't see, you're missing a treat. Shit for you, because Meghan is stunning. So if I saw you, I would not dream that you would think like that.
I've got no self-confidence at all.
But you are stunning.
I said up on the way, didn't I? I feel that sometimes when I've lost weight in my face, I feel pretty, and that's as far as I can get myself.
Meghan, you are pretty, sweetie. The prettiest girl ever. The pair of you are the most... Honestly, you are like Posh and Bex. Because you are so beautiful, the pair of you, and not just on the outside, but on the inside as well, which is why we've always
that's what I mean.
been with you.
So seeing you two in, it's like, yeah, you know, they're the, you know, top dogs, they're top dogs. And it's like, yeah, but I hear so many people, including us, we do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely do the same thing.
Just because we're hosts, we don't go, oh, yeah, you know, well, apart from if somebody's throwing grapes on the bed. So bring me my fucking grapes.
It's only happened once. They keep dragging that one up.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked my grapes.
He's not been back to the club since. I think it's probably your fault.
Yeah, that's it. Probably because I have to be butler in the buff for the next party. But no, it's amazing how we judge ourselves, and it's almost like we judge ourselves against other people. And people think that being in the naughty hobby with is like ultra confident people that can walk around naked, and we're not. We still have the same, you know, worries and inadequacies about ourselves. And it's just ridiculous when you hear other people say it. And I think that's what's one of my favourite things about this podcast is people are so open and honest about their, you know, how they feel when they go to a club and they're in that room. And it's a huge thing when you see other guys and other women. And I see other guys and I'm like, I just put the towel back on. Just stand here with the towel on. It's like, yeah, I must go back to the gym on Monday. Renew my gym membership. But we do.
Yeah.
But that for me was the first time I'd felt that. Normally in the big bedroom, that's what I call it. I'd never felt that. I'd always felt sexy. I'd always felt hot. Yeah. Like I hadn't felt it, and I think that's why it felt like a big fall from grace. I think,
yeah,
because we plummeted. So I don't think you did. I struggled to not take it personally, so I plummeted quite quickly, and I think we probably would have had a break even if we hadn't booked. I say booked to have a break, but hadn't planned to have a break, because I think at that point my confidence was shot a little bit.
Yeah.
But then other nights we said that we pulled the hottest guy first. So
absolutely.
And that's what we were trying to say. It's like, come on, it's just the people that are here. Yeah. It's not you. And I think eventually I got round to that, but it did take a while, didn't it?
And we've famously said when Mrs. N burst into tears at Liberty Elite, and I think it was Dark Desires, because you just felt totally inadequate.
And apart from the fact there was loads of other people being shagged by hot black guys, and I wanted one.
I don't want the black guys. Why haven't I got one?
I literally had a bit of a soul because I was laying on one of the beds and they're just like, what's going on? It's just like... It wasn't happening.
It's like, come on, it's time to leave.
I think up until that night, we'd had nights where we would do like 3 different things. So we'd have a single guy, a couple, and a female, all in one night. And I think that was the other thing. We'd come from having so much in one night to us going high five at the end of the night to, oh, fuck, we just fucked each other. That was boring, wasn't it? We could have just stayed at home for that. All the travelling, all the money, we just fucked each other. So yeah, that was the other thing. We were a bit like, oh, that's a bit rubbish, wasn't it?
But you do learn, I think you do learn to enjoy the whole experience as a whole, don't you?
Yeah.
So even if you don't, we always say go with no expectations.
Yeah.
And then we have had really amazing nights where nothing in particular has happened, but we've kind of agreed it was a really amazing night, hot experience.
Yeah. Yeah, even if we've not sort of played with anybody else or we've just watched or... Because there have been amazing nights like that where you just, it's the whole thing when you hear the noise of the other side of the hot tub and all of a sudden everybody has to get out and have a quick look over the...
It's all the meerkats popping up.
They do.
The amount of times where I'm like, can you move? I haven't got my glasses on, I need to be able to see, because I can't see long distance. So
No.
if I'm at the back corner bed, I'm like, you need to move, I can't see what's going on. I need to see that. And everyone's like, all right, I'm moving. I will just stand up and get right in there if you need me. Like, do you want binoculars? I am that person.
funny.
And I tend to suck off my water bottle.
Yeah.
So if I'm watching it, I'm like, take the bottle out of your mouth.
Yeah, but then somebody's probably watching Meghan doing that, thinking, "Friggin' hell, that's hot." I wish I was that that water bottle, not hot water bottle. I wish I was that water bottle. Yeah, hot water bottle doesn't have the same.
The best thing is when the girls at Libs, for anybody that doesn't know, you've got the hot tub and you've got like a little glass kind of wall,
It's
isn't
a wall,
it? 3/4
yeah.
wall. So the girls peep over it, and then obviously
Not just the girls.
hear me out, because it's fun when the girls do it, because then they're standing up naked with their asses literally to the face of the guys. We're like, oh yeah, you just sit there, you're like, yeah, you carry on, girls watching. It's a shit life.
We've had our friends go, she's getting deep in. I'm like, in the cracks of it, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm trying to concentrate.
That's hilarious.
And then you can hear clapping, and it was just like happy clapping for us. And someone wanted to grab your balls and slapped your ass, and it was.
Well, that was saucy.
We've had some really good times.
Oh, have you had Miss Foxy do the whole?
I haven't yet.
Oh,
I haven't had the pleasure. No.
Oh, there you go, Miss
Something
Foxy.
to look forward to. But I don't think an event goes by where I don't get a slap on the bum from Saucy. or Sir from Naughty Little Secret.
Such a naughty menace, isn't he? And he normally does it at the most inappropriate moments as well, doesn't he?
And then I'm the one that does it back to them. So then I'm tasked with getting them back. And from me, I don't know what you're talking about.
So you guys, obviously, you seem quite open about being in the naughty hobby. Was that a conscious decision that you didn't want to sort of keep it a secret, or...?
I just didn't want to hide it. I think we kept it from our parents. Your parents still don't know. My mum found out because one of Meghan's greatest things is she can't lie.
Yeah, not the best hobby to be in.
Yeah. So we were around my mum's, and my mum deliberately waited till I put food in my mouth, and then went, "I'm just going to come out and ask, are you two swinging?"
And I just burst out laughing. Because I'm not going to be able to lie.
Because before that, me and Meghan we didn't really do a lot like together socially. because of our child, it would be
Yeah.
intimate.
Yeah.
And, like, she would go out with her friends, I would go out with mine.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, and my mum went, "You just don't have all these new friends randomly up north, Hayden."
This seems to be the thing. It's the sudden influx of friends that's giving everybody.
To do with the sex.
And then we're going on this night, on this weekend, and it ended up being the similar, because at the start we did DC, and then your nights were coming in between that, and she was like, why do you have specific nights that you're going out? Why are you forward planning that much?
Bridge club.
Yeah.
And then my brother asked what we was doing and how I'd found all these new friends, and I was like, because I read smutty books. And I was like, that's not a lie. I got out of it because it's not a lie. And he was looking at, I was driving and I was looking at Hayden in the rear view mirror like...
panicked.
I cannot tell my brother that. I can't do it. So I read smutty books and I've met them in a group. And I'm like, none of this is lies. I've got friends from that. These aren't those friends.
The Smutty Book Club.
I love that. I think we should no longer be called the Naughty Hobby. It needs to be the Smutty Book Club.
But I've always been very open with my mum about everything. My mum's always been amazing with stuff like that. I think for my 15th birthday, she bought me a pack of condoms.
Excellent.
Good on you, Mum.
Yeah, she's always been.
That's
really
so
good
nice,
with that.
though.
Yeah.
That is nice.
So
what was her reaction when you...
I knew it! That's what she did. And I was just like... And then she was like, tell me about it. Don't tell me about it. I need to know. I don't want to know.
And then it was, are they putting it in you or is it just Meghan? What's going on? Are you being safe? And I was like, Jesus Christ! This is too many questions. I don't know how to answer because I don't want to answer one of the questions wrong.
Let me see your profile.
Yeah. She was like, you're just being safe, aren't you? We're like, yes, always so.
Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always a given.
With regular
Yeah.
checks in the middle. And we were saying we're probably safer than your other daughter.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And this is what we were saying because we had a conversation with Mr. N's very good friend, who obviously he outed himself
I outed myself.
Yeah.
accidentally,
Yes.
and not lived it down since.
He one day I will get him on the show.
We are going to get him on the
He
show.
knew something was up.
Yeah.
He knew something was afoot.
Yeah.
And we kind of joked, literally joked. And he got me in the thing by saying something about black rubber sheets. And I was like, there's no black rubber sheets at Liberty Elite. Oh, fuck.
Next thing he was like
Google.
on his phone.
Liberty Elite. That was it. Done for.
Yeah, we were done for. Yeah. But it's that whole. He's still. I know he jokes a lot, and he does joke a lot because he's a massive joker. But it's still that thing of it's all very seedy, mm-hmm. and a little bit, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, and that's the thing. It's not like that. That's not how it is.
If anything, it's the opposite. And I think for a lot of people, when I was talking to them, it was like it was the consent side of stuff that you don't get to choose who you can't say no, and if you pick their key out the bowl, then that's who you have to sleep with.
Yeah.
Now there are potential groups of people that are friends that do that because you don't mind whose key you pick.
Yeah.
But that isn't how it's done, and I think that was the biggest taboo for us, that it was all old seedy men that we were.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's not that. Sometimes it might be, but the most of it isn't like that. And so you actually probably find that consent's so big that if people don't ask it, the whole club loses their shit.
Yeah.
Because you haven't asked consent and you haven't followed that, and then everyone's backing you up because they're right. You didn't ask consent and you shouldn't have touched. And
Yeah, absolutely.
it's such a safe space that actually I'd feel worse going to a normal club than I would.
Oh, I would
a prime members club.
Yeah.
And I've said that I can walk around in my underwear there and feel the best I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Put me in a normal club situation, I'm like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
It's like it's like if Mrs. N's gone to the bathroom, whatever, and she's been gone 20 minutes. I've got no worries whatsoever. I just know she'll be talking to someone on the way.
It's true.
It is, and it's just like, whereas in a normal club, I would be worried. I'd be watching and
I'm going to stand outside the bathroom to make sure I see when you come out.
Yeah.
And
there's no way you could leave your
even
drinks.
before we kind of our dynamic sort of evolved more, shall we say? Even at that point, if Mr. N had gone off and was chatting somewhere, I still wouldn't be worried. I certainly wouldn't have had that thought. Is he playing without me or something? But wouldn't even cross my mind.
we've had that, haven't we? That we found within this lifestyle we socialise together, whereas outside of the lifestyle we socialise separately.
Yeah.
Bizarrely, we can go to a party and not speak to each other the whole time, then come together to go home. Whereas here, we are always together.
Yeah.
So when we're apart, people are like, "Where is he?" I'm like, "I don't know." I don't know.
He's somewhere.
He's somewhere. He's enjoying himself. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'm out here. And then you all get the same. Well, where's Meghan? Sure, she's in there, because I think everyone's so used to seeing us together. So that's been quite a big adjustment for us to be like, oh, we're together.
Yeah.
More socialising.
Yeah, but what a great thing to share, though, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. Yeah.
To be able to share it with each other, I think, is one of the amazing.
It is. I think you become. This is probably like a weird thing to say, but you become best friends.
Yeah.
Because you're learning together, you're doing the journey together. I hate the word journey, but you are doing the journey together, and you're talking about it together. Your communication's open, so you do become like really, really best friends. So, a lot of couples will say that they're best friends anyway, but I think when you do experiment in the naughty hobby, I do think you do experiment together, and it brings you closer together.
We're definitely closer than we were before we started.
Yeah.
Not that we were far apart before that, but we're definitely closer. And I think we're better at communicating our needs better.
Yeah.
I can be touched out after a day at work and with our son really, really quickly. And he's like, so normally he would just touch me and I'm like, just get off me. Don't touch me right now. Whereas now you'll go, can I touch you? Can I kiss? And even that is, we've completely changed our communication for all of our life. And it's made, we still bicker, but we're not having the blow up arguments that we would have had before because we're just communicating.
Yeah.
Just don't touch me. So he was taking that as a rejection rather than me just give me 5 minutes. I just don't want to be touched for a minute. Yeah. And then I'll come to you when I'm ready to. And that's been massive.
It's like Hayden said, you recognise the tells.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that saying. You do. You recognise things in your partner. I don't know with Mrs. N, if she's talking to someone, I think she's not. She's not.
You can tell by just the way she's standing. I know.
It's like, and they're thinking they're doing really well, and it's like, you're going nowhere, sunshine.
I've only shocked you once, haven't I, with a single guy in a club. You've come back from the toilet. I'm like, we're going over there. He was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And he's like, are you really sure? I'm like, yeah, I am. I was like, and it's because I'd been chatting with him on the Discord for loads of time before that. So I was sure, and Hayden was like, really? I was like, I just didn't think he was your type. And I was like, yeah, I'd spoken to him. It worked for what I needed at that time. I needed something, he was going to give it to me.
Mrs. N has actually said to me in the past, she'll go to me, there'll be a guy talking to her, she'll go, is his cock massive though? It's too big. I don't know. I'm not. It's as if I'm just walking around the playroom. Excuse me, can I just see your cock in case my wife later on fancies having a little experiment?
10 inches too long.
Absolutely.
Going around with my tape measure.
Would you mind just?
I'm not looking for the biggest. I might be looking for the girthiest, but I'm definitely looking for the biggest.
Oh, we are so similar. We're twins, honestly. It's just like, there are times when Mr. N's shown me somebody's profile pic and I've gone, oh, good God, no, it's huge. Yeah.
I'm like, no, that'll hurt.
Yeah, and then he's gone, it's not that big, really. It's just the angle of the photo.
It's the angle. You'll be all right with that.
Like, really? Do you think it's also made you more, because we've said this since we've been in the hobby, is that it makes you more, you tolerate more with people. You're more accepting of the differences in people and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I was probably more open.
You were more accepting.
Anyway, I'm more of an accepting person anyway, but it's definitely opened you up more, and me more so to, and I'm really big on labels now that I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
For any of it. You don't have to label just because you've had one bi experience. You don't have to be labelled as bi.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
And I feel like that happens once you've had one bi experience, now you're bisexual. And I'm like, and it's not about identifying it, but it doesn't need a label. You can just enjoy something. It's not even the person, it's just that one experience.
That's so true.
And we've had that conversation quite a lot, haven't we? That just don't label it.
Yeah.
Just what did you enjoy it? Yes. Well, that's enough.
That's it.
By actually labelling things, I mean that you struck something that I so believe in there. Obviously, with political correctness and the way things are now, you're actually grouping people and labelling them by trying to be all inclusive. It's like, you don't have to. Just leave people and say they're really cool people. I don't give a shit what they label or identify as. They're just really cool people. I don't care. And there seems to be like an obsession for labelling everything.
You've got to fit a category.
Yeah. And pigeonhole it.
At the end of the day, we just like having sex, and that's it. Doesn't matter who you have it with, as long as you're having a good time and you're safe.
I identify as slutty. Yeah. That's fine.
I love that.
I'm just identify as slutty, and I'm happy with that. I don't mind that. To be fair, I always have done.
So do your girlfriends know?
So a lot of my girlfriends know. All of the people I work with, bar one, know. Even the newbie that started last week, that was an initiation for it.
And how did that go? Did you
Everyone's
make the
been
decision just to come out and tell them, or did they kind of guess or ask you something and you obviously
we
couldn't
made,
lie?
Yeah, I think we made the decision to tell them because I was always coming back after a weekend really tired or ill. We always say that I get post.
You get the swingers come down.
I get the swimmers come down, but I end up getting a cold.
Okay.
Or once I had a really, really, really bad sore throat.
You need to
didn't
take
I?
more vitamin C with it, sweetie.
Yeah, I had a really, really bad
Not
throat.
over your ears.
No, I had a really bad throat. So everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And it just kind of came out. And just all my friends at work, completely fine. Tell us what you did.
Really?
They knew that we were coming on the podcast because I've been really open about this weekend, about us going to the club. And they were like, "You'll have to tell us what you get up to and how it is and everything like that." It's been more of our shared friends that have been wobblier.
Yeah.
But my friends separately have been completely fine, and that's why I struggle to get my head around the other side because I don't really get it.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think?
I think it's because I do generally give off an innocent vibe to a lot of my friends. Whereas everyone that knows me...
The quiet ones are always the worst.
knows that it's not true.
You see, I've seen Hayden in just a towel, so I know he's not a good boy. He's not a good boy.
I'm the one that normally has the funky hair, the tattoos, I've got all piercings, so I think there I give off this vibe, apparently, because you thought the same when you first met me. You knew that I was your type because of when he first met me, my head was shaved and I had a chop on his address, and you could see on my tattoos I had a fake lip ring in, and he said instantly I knew that you were looking for what I was going to give you. But yeah, no one think I'm always the slut. Your friends have always kind of. I've been on the precipice of that anyway because I'd slept with quite. And I'm going to say quite a high number of people for. What our age, what the girls were doing at that time.
Yeah.
So when we met, they were like, "Are you sure? Because she slept with quite a lot of people." And I'm like, "But you've slept with more than me."
That's so judgmental.
Isn't it? What does it matter?
I always said it doesn't matter. Everyone's got a past. It doesn't matter as long as they're not doing it behind your back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why does it matter?
Exactly.
It's obsession with judging
do you think
people.
then with like you joint friends, do you think there's maybe an air of jealousy there?
I think there's also an area of jealousy and not fully understanding, even though we've explained to them so many times about it. I think there's just a slight area of jealousy and maybe just a lack of communication on their half.
And I think bizarrely, our gay friends are the ones that were like, yes, really. And I think it's because they fancy him. So they're like, yeah, we're in. Whereas,
just saying, I find two men really hot. I'm just saying.
Same. But whereas our couple friends, they're the ones that can't get their head around it. And I think it's because of it might be their couple dynamic, or one of them said, well, I invite a girl in, but I wouldn't invite a guy in.
Yeah, we've had that a lot.
I'm like...
Oh, yeah, no, we could do it with another girl, but I couldn't have another guy.
But you're not comfortable with it.
And I said, well, how do you think that makes your partner feel, saying that you could invite another girl in and she'll have to watch you have sex with another girl, but you wouldn't be comfortable watching her have sex with another guy, so how can you expect her to be comfortable with it?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but it's different. And I'm like,
no, it seriously isn't.
It seriously isn't. It's the exact same thing.
The thing's still going in the same place.
Exactly.
I think you've hit the nail on the head in as much as the people on the outside, in the muggle world, as I'm going to call them. I know that pisses some people off that listen to the show. Non-swingers are not muggles. So, but they look at it like that's just a lack of being able to be on the same page, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just kind of wanting to fill your boots.
An excuse to cheat on each other is what we've had.
That's the thing, and it's
It's
just
not
like,
an excuse to cheat on each other.
No, not at all. Not at all.
People can do it without an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. That's the good thing about it. I wonder how many of them have since had conversations, though, about it.
My friend, so one of my friends that I told, have been to a swingers club in another country and then fed back to me how it was.
Really?
So we sparked a conversation in them. They've gone away. They knew they were going, I think it was Hungary or that area of the world, because I'm really bad with geography. Went to a club and then was like, I need to tell you something. I'm really excited to tell you. So I'm around the house like, hell is going on? And they told me, like, we didn't do as much as you would, obviously.
Smutty ones.
But they were like, it was so good, and everyone was lovely, and I was like, that's in a completely different country. I was like, and that's what I was telling you. So that was lovely. I was like, oh, I love that for you guys.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. You almost have like a proud moment.
I did.
Don't
I was
you?
like a proud mum. Like,
I know. Well done, you.
Well done. Do more. Come on. I now need to live vicariously through you guys.
I won't be happy until you're thoroughly filthy fuckers.
Exactly.
But she doesn't corrupt people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, she's such a bad one. Bad influence all over the place. I have come close a couple of times. I've got some really close friends at work, and I've a bit like, when you've sort of said something in a conversation which is actually true, and so they do know, fully enough, they know quite a lot that is true. There's just certain extra bits that they don't know.
Bear in mind, we've got V2V on our fucking number plate.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It kind of gives it away a little bit. But there's part of me that just so wants to do it, and just because it's just like, I want to share it with people and just say to them, look, I'm not some weirdo, and I'm not this, that, and the other. But something just stops me every time I think, oh, I'm going to say it, but then I go, no, I won't. I'll keep quiet. It's just like.
I think for me, it's because you not so much want them to experience it, but you want them to be able to feel how you feel when you go to the clubs.
The liberation.
Yeah.
And just, I've never felt so comfortable in my own skin as I do when I'm at Libs or any other club, really.
We always say, don't we, always feel like we're at home.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. That's exactly it. You do want, it's a terribly addictive feeling, and you want everybody to feel that. Yeah. That liberation. Yeah. So true.
So that way they can then understand why you do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want them there because they're your friends.
And we've got a rule, haven't we, that we don't, and not of people like the word play, but we don't play with people from our vanilla lifestyle.
Yeah.
Our vanilla life is completely separate, so a lot of people don't actually know our son's name. It's only a couple of our close friends that know our son's name. We've never done any house meets, and our vanilla lifestyle is separate. And also because of my job, I've got to be quite, I don't know, we've had this conversation on the way. I'm not quite careful, but I go out and meet other companies and providers and things. I'm out in the public, so I've got to be a little bit careful. So it is completely separate.
And that is an annoyance that people instantly think, just because you're non-monogamous, that's it. You must be a predator.
Yeah,
you must be wanting to fuck everything around you. It's like,
we've really struggled with that, didn't we? Like, going on night out, I was like, no, I'm not going to go on a night out on my own and pick up a guy and bring him home. He'll probably love that.
That would be amazing.
That's not what we're doing.
left to me and Hayden, it's like,
He's like, please do it. Every time I went on a girls' night, he'd put on Fab. I was like, why am I being inundated with messages? It's because he's put on our thingy that I was in our local area. I was like, for God's sake.
Out for a drink if you see me, come say hi.
So naughty.
It's not a chilled night, but I'm inundated with guys.
It's so bad.
Taxis arrived and sent. We're a big Fab Swingers beacon on you. Brilliant.
So although people think that's what we do, it isn't. But no, he'd love that.
I mean, you've got this whole fantasy thing about having somebody stay over for the night and waking up in the middle of the night and having naughties and stuff. But in reality, I'd be like, oh no, I'm going to be doing with somebody else. No way. That won't
also, as well, it was quite hot that you with a school friend. That was quite a hot fantasy. That kind of
yeah. I wasn't expecting that one to happen.
We've had an ex message us, haven't we? One of my exes message us, and I was like, I don't think he knows that's me. I genuinely, because of the message, it was like just your normal. I was like, I don't think he knows that's me.
Just one of the copy paste messages that single guy sent.
And because at that point my face wasn't in it.
Yeah.
But obviously now it is. Now our faces are
pretty sure that.
We're pretty sure that one of Mrs. N's exes is probably listening. Hi.
Don't run away.
We're pretty sure that he sent us a message on Fab.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many
then
times.
Then deletes the profile and starts again.
Well, we've had a message from someone who I went to school with that I know is in a relationship, but on his profile was as a single guy.
That's awesome.
So I was like, okay, we're just going to block them. We don't need that drama.
Well, the other thing
Not bringing
is
it to our front
as well,
door that people in the naughty hobby are very honest.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be anything other than honest. And I think a lot of people will agree that, you know, we don't like the dishonesty that happens when people have affairs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just like, to me, that's 10 times worse.
But and that's always my advice to people is, like, obviously we were in a really shitty situation, as you know, with family and stuff when they didn't know. And you simply empower yourself by literally coming out. The minute you go, okay, fuck it, the worst things happen.
So what?
They've found out. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll just come out. And then once you actually do come out, the worst thing is the fear itself. Once you get past that and go, okay, I'm out. Yeah, I'm a swinger, filthy, and all this and the other. There's nothing they can do to you then. There's absolutely nothing they can do because they know, and you've opened yourself up. And that's it. No more they can do. You're still the same person. They're still the same people, and that's it. You just carry on.
Exactly. But that's what I love about it more. The people that you meet, the fact that people are honest, you know, and you sit there and it's like, especially for us as women, when you get compliments, even from other women, it's
Massive.
just, it's huge. And you know that it's like, well, you don't have to say that.
yeah, you're fully choosing to say that.
Exactly.
Well, I don't take compliments well.
No,
anyway.
me neither. I'm
So I'm
terrible
like,
at it. Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
If you can tell they're just being genuine rather than
Yeah,
hidden
it's being
agenda or anything
forced,
like that.
Absolutely. But I think the other thing about, because we were talking about it earlier about, I think people that are in the naughty hobby are more accepting. You stop seeing people for what size they are, how tall they are, what colour they are, or anything. You just see them as people, don't you? And I think that is the nicest thing about it.
I'm going to ask you a question now for the girls, since like these very hot wife time kind of girls have got here. Has your sexual preferences changed since you've been in the naughty hobby? Do you think you still could go for the same kind of looking guys?
I don't know, because yes and no, because there's some guys that we play with that wouldn't normally be my type.
Yeah.
So maybe it has, but then, like we've said, that I don't really care about what people look like. It's not about that.
Yeah. It's all about the connection, isn't it? If you have that connection with somebody.
And so for our single guy meets, not even that. It's just, it's really bad, but it's the dick pic. It's how they come across.
We're all so shallow, you know.
I'm just shallow in a different way.
It's all in the dick pic.
It's how they come across. It's because we've had really good meets with really confident and some okay meets because they were a bit more nervous. Now I don't like that. The guy has to be more confident but not cocky, and there is a fine line. So I don't know if my preferences have changed or whether I'm more open to different, to older, younger, bold, with hair, blonde hair, dark hair.
Yeah, that is a good point, because I've always said that I don't want to be with anybody that looks like Mr. N, because I have Mr. N. I don't need that. And I like the fact that they're different and they look different and, you know, they come across different. I think if anything, I could honestly say I'm probably more picky now.
Okay.
Well, that makes me sound like yeah, before I just shag anything.
It's got a dick, I'll fuck it. Even if it hasn't, I'll probably still fuck it.
No, but we've all had that, like, taken one for the team sort of thing. But to me, it's more like if I had that connection with somebody, so, you know, they might necessarily not look at them and think, oh, God, you know, you're really hot, or I fancy you, or whatever. But could have had a conversation with them, or they've made me laugh or whatever, and I found them very attractive that way. It's more that, because when you get the connection, the sex is just awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're almost out of time.
Can't be already.
I know. Thank you so much. That's been awesome.
It was well worth waiting to have you on here, and
Just
I hope this
getting
isn't the last time.
No,
we'll definitely be back.
please
Yes.
promise us you're going to come back.
Yes.
I know you're going to be
Can't keep us away.
big hits. So people can actually reach you on Fab Swingers. What's your Fab Swingers name?
M&H 1992.
There you go, guys. M&H 1992.
It's just double checking.
I don't know if it's the word and or the sign and.
M&H 1992. We're going, oh, fuck, what's all these messages?
It is. So just be prepared to be inundated with lots of dick pics, babes.
Yeah. But please, guys, if you're sitting on the toilet, don't bother.
No, please don't. I don't need your toilet seat.
No, definitely not. Thank you so much, guys, for coming to see us, because I know it's a bit of a journey for you guys to come all the way here. So we really appreciate it, and it's just been awesome to spend some proper time with you guys, because we've seen you at the club, we've had a quick kind of chat, but we don't really get to sit and have proper chat. So this is why we love doing what we do, because we get to spend proper time with you.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we cannot wait to see you at a future event.
Yay!
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.